Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're going to be working on the Felicity fitted bishop sleeve top. I'm super excited about it. The sleeves look amazing. I think this is going to be such a good quick sew. I can't wait to get it started. So let's do it. Today I'm going to be using this thermal cashmere from Boho Fabrics. I think it's so pretty and it is so soft. I love it. I think this is going to make such a perfect casual top that I can wear everywhere, and the sleeves kind of dress it up a little bit. So cute. So we're going to get started with our back bodice, and we're going to face them right sides together. Make sure you figure out which one's your right side. And honestly, with this fabric, I feel like this is the right side, but I could use the wrong side as the right side as well, because it's kind of like a pretty design. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and face it right sides together and sew the back seam. So some people ask, why do we have a back seam? Why don't we just cut this the back in on the fold? And that's because our back has a little bit of a curve. And so by sewing this on two pieces and sewing it down the middle, it gives you like a really nice shape on the back. You can kind of see a little bit of that shape here looking at the back of the shirt. So we're gonna go ahead and sew that up first. All right, after I sew that back, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good steam. And you can top stitch it if you want. It's up to you, but we're just steaming it, the seam to one side. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab those shoulders. So I'm placing my back piece face up on my mat. Then I'm gonna grab my front piece. I'm gonna face it right side down, so right side's touching, and sew those shoulder seams. And actually, I can go ahead and go grab my iron again and do a memory crease here at the bottom for the hem. And that makes it a lot easier when it's actually time to hem, to have that memory crease after I sew my sides. So let me do that. So pressing that fabric wrong side up to create that memory crease. Now you can go ahead and sew those shoulders first, but since I already created that memory crease, I'm gonna go ahead and also sew those side seams by unfolding that memory crease and just matching right sides together here along the side on both sides. All right, and then we can go ahead and prep our sleeves and all our bands and everything. So I'm gonna grab my sleeves and I'm gonna fold them right sides together along the inner seam here and sew them up. Again, that's right sides together. And after I sew that seam, I can put in a gathering stitch here at the top of the sleeve and at the bottom of the sleeve, because I'm going to end up gathering the top to fit my arm side for my sleeve and gathering the bottom to fit my cuff. So I'm gonna put that aside and do the same on the other one. Then I'm gonna go ahead and also prep my cuffs by folding them right sides together along that raw edge and sewing them up. Now remember, you have to keep your stretch going this way, okay? So make sure that the stretch is going sideways, because that cuff is gonna go right here on, so you gotta make sure that your stretch is still going the right way. Then last but not least, I'm prepping my neckband by folding it right sides together here at the short raw edge and sewing that up. All right, let's go prep all that, and then it'll be as easy as putting it all together. All right, I'm changing my stitch to a basting stitch, which is just a long straight stitch on my sewing machine. And for the bottom of the sleeve, I'm just going to go all the way around, leaving a big tail of thread at the beginning and at the end to gather with. And at the top, I'm putting a basting stitch around the cap of the sleeve. And I'm gonna repeat that for both sleeves. Do not do this. Do not let your fabric get caught in between, because now I'm gonna have to remove it and do it all over again. But that's okay, that happens to people. That happens to everyone. And so it's just, if you catch it on time, like it's just a basting stitch, I can just pull that right out and I just have to redo it. And I didn't break my fabric or nothing. But just make sure you're careful with your fabric, especially if it's fabric like this fabric, which is really light and likes to come over and hang out. All right, so now we're gonna put it all together. We are going to start with our sleeve. So I'm gonna fold my top right side out. I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave it inside out. I don't know why I turned it right side out. I'm gonna leave it inside out. We're gonna grab our sleeve and turn the sleeve right side out. Now, you got to find which sleeve has, which side of the sleeve has the back. So because when we fit this in, our side seam is going to be attached to the side seam, right sides together, but the back portion that I marked will have to touch the back side of the top. So we're going to go ahead and mark our center. This is the center top, and I'm going to fit my sleeve into my arm side and match that seam with my armpit is here. Match those right sides together. And then I'm going to match that top right at the top of the sleeve where that seam, shoulder seam is. And then I'm going to gather my sleeve, pull my gathers so my sleeve will fit into my arm side. So I can start fitting it here at the bottom, right sides together. And as I go up to the top of the sleeve, they need to match up. So I just have to gather enough for it to fit my arm side. And then do the same on the other side, the front side of your sleeve. Pull that basting stitch to gather it to fit. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on the other sleeve. So in case you were wondering, I know I get this question a lot. I am wearing a Discover tee made in double brush poly. That's what I'm wearing today for this video. Also, I made a size large. I am between a size medium and large on what I wear on my sizing chart. So I decided to go ahead and go with the large since this is a little bit more of a fitted top. So I went ahead and went with the large. So I'm in between medium and large on where I fall in my, I'm like a high, medium, low, large range in my sizing. So in case anybody has that question. All right, so now we've got our sleeves are ready to be put on. Now it just depends how much you want to do now. You can go ahead and do that and come back and do the cuffs. I think we'll just go ahead and do that, come back and do the cuffs. A lot of times I'll go ahead and do it all at the same time and I'll be done. But let's go ahead and do the sleeves and then I'm going to show you how to do the cuffs and the neckband and then we'll hem and we'll be done. It's super easy. All right, so now we've got our neck and our neckband and our armbands to finish up. So we're gonna mark our neck quarters by matching up those shoulder seams and go into the front. And I like to do like a little notch on here to show me where my half is, my quarter. And then I'm gonna go ahead and match that with the back seam and go to the sides. Your shoulder seams are not your quarters, so you cannot go by your shoulder seams or you're gonna have a wonky neckband. So I always like to go ahead and make sure that I quarter them nicely and get that ready. I'm gonna just trim these serger tails because they're gonna get eaten by my neckband, so it's okay if I cut them. Now I'm gonna grab my neckband. I'm gonna cut these serger tails here too because they're just bulky and annoying. Okay, and I'm gonna fold that neckband wrong sides together. And you can go ahead and give it a little steam if you have a really like flimsy fabric. You can steam it a little bit. Let me go give it a steam and I'll show you. See, a little steam helps it not to be so wiggly on you when you're trying to attach it. So we mark the back and then we mark the front, and you can mark the front also by doing the little notches if you want to. If you don't want to, you can just put a pin or a clip there. A lot of times when it's fabric that has grooves, I just do the clips because I can't see them, so the notches, so it doesn't help. But I marked the front, and then I matched up the front and the back, and I went to the sides to mark my quarters. And I'm just adding some pins in here, but we're gonna match up those quarters right sides together here with my neckband. And then we're gonna go and sew them up. Now for our cuffs, as you can see, our sleeve is obviously wider than our cuff. We're gonna grab our cuff, fold it wrong sides together. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that. I'm also gonna go ahead and trim these threads. Okay, and I'm gonna match up in the half. Here's my half. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to gather, well, let me mark first my half. That's my seam here. So my half will be right up here. And I'm gonna grab my basting stitch, and I'm going to gather this sleeve to fit my cuff. Okay, once it's wide as your cuff, I like to go ahead and kind of tie it so it's not going to come apart on me, because then we'll release this basting stitch after. We'll pull it off after we sew it together, and then we're going to go ahead and fit our cuff into our sleeve and match it right sides together, and we're going to sew them up. So match that seam here. And this is why you want to gather your sleeve first, because there's so much, where I marked my half. There is a lot of, the sleeve is really wide. It's a wide sleeve, the bishop sleeve. So you want to make sure that you, here it is, that if you're just trying to stretch your armband to fit, it's going to be very difficult to stretch it that much. So gathering really does help to be able to get it to fit just right. So now I'm going to go ahead and do that to the same to the other side, to the other sleeve. Where you created that memory crease, just fold back up and sew your hem. So we're going to do all that and we'll be done with our top. I'm so excited. When you're sewing your cuff, make sure you take your time to keep those pleats, your gathers, sticking straight up. I'm gonna use a triple stitch on my sewing machine to do my hem on my shirt. All right, friends, we are done with this pattern. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This was such a quick and easy sew. I love the sleeves. I think it turned out so cute. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please come and like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Go grab your pattern, come back and sew it up with me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.